Hello, all sweet children of Jesus out there. For tonight's bedtime story, I wrote yesterday. I wrote a story, and the title of the story is called "The Mysterious Maze of Revelations." Okay, here's the story. Claire and her beloved, very best friend Trina lived next door to each other among the beautiful fields of gold, along a sparkling crystal river, where the flying birds above would fly into the sunset, touching the edge of eternity to touch the face of God. Claire and Trina would run through the golden fields together as the sun went down. They camped all night and woke up early the next day to watch the morning star. Because they loved the morning star so very much, it reminded them of the glory of the divine. Claire and Trina were loved by many people because they were well known for helping the elderly, disabled, homeless, and all those in need. Together they tried their best to show others the way of love. However, one night their night was disturbed when Carmen and her best friend Kathy ran over to Billy and controlled them. "What are you holding in your hand?" sneered Carmen. Claire replied, "We cannot show you, because we was told to keep our books sealed until such a time when all secrets are allowed to be revealed." Carmen felt really angry. She wanted to snatch Claire's and Trina's book from right out of their hands. But just in time, a man walked past telling them to leave Claire and Trina alone. He smiled at Claire and Trina, handing them both a key, explaining with only these keys could doors to secrets and destinies be opened. The next day, Claire and Trina watched from out of the tents as a massive maze was being formed from out the cornfields. "Come on, let's investigate," insisted Claire. "Okay," Trina replied, smiling and nodding. That, however, was short-lived, as they spotted another girl called Mona in their wheelchairs. As they spotted Carmen and Kathy talking to a boy named Stefan and another girl called Mona. They were in wheelchairs, and they were saying to them that when the next meteorite shower happened, it was when they will be given the ability to walk again. Claire and Trina knew that they were lying, and saw Carmen and Kathy laughing at them behind their back. Trina and Claire cried on behalf of the innocent children that had been lied to by Carmen and Kathy, when all of a sudden an eagle flew down, carrying a small bottle within its talons, and launched itself on a branch, beckoning Claire and Trina over. "Go over, don't be afraid. This eagle wants to collect our tears, let it." Claire said, smiling. "But it's just an eagle, and what would it do with our tears?" asked Trina. Claire replied, "Well, I'm not sure, but let's trust in him anyhow." "Okay," replied Trina. Both walking towards the eagle, he collected the tears in his bottle and flew away with them again. Together, hand in hand, Claire and Trina walked inside the maze, into the newly cut maze. When they entered into it, it was as they were walking into a whole new, entire world. Suddenly, everything within the maze became much brighter, colourful, and the five senses of the body were heightened. "Claire, Where are we and what are we doing? Here, asked Trina. Claire replied, My dear precious friend, we have been taken to the edge of paradise. What we see around us is extremely beautiful. But you know something, this is not even the tip of the iceberg of paradise. How do you know all this, Claire? Asked Trina. Well, I had insight from the greatest power and love of all, smiled Claire. And I am here to try and point you and all others to this truth with its help. You can do this? Asked Trina. No, certainly not, replied Claire humbly. But with the help of the greatest power, then yes, you and anyone can do all things. Claire and Trina spent time enjoying running over the rainbows, stroking unicorns, and playing with the flowers. That song, with the flowers, that song and music, and played music. Trina looked at Claire. Let's go and bring Stefan and Mono here. We'll help them to be able to walk again, Claire replied. I would love to see them dancing and walking, but all must be done in its proper timing, explained Claire. We must tell them the truth, that they are being deceived by Carmen and Kathy. So they walked outside the maze again. By that time, Stefan and Mona had gone. Stop with the deceiving, Claire said to Carmen, but Carmen just ignored Claire, but tried to persuade Trina into believing the lies that people can be healed by the unpredicted meteorite shower. All of a sudden, a great big ox came out of nowhere. Carmen and Kathy cried in fright and ran towards the maze. The same man that appeared before showed up and collected Carmen and Kathy's tears and bottles under them protesting much. Trina was also very scared, but Claire gently reassured her. Don't be afraid, sweet girl. The ox will not hurt you. I just feel it in my heart. Claire always had a magic way to comfort Trina, and so she did. From behind the bushes and trees came the loudest roar. Trina started crying her eyes out. Claire hugged her close. It's okay, sweetheart. This creature will not hurt you, she said gently. Trina replied, But what about him? Pointing to the ox. Claire gently replied, I know, darling. I hope the lion doesn't kill and eat the ox either, but sadly that's what lions do. The man carrying the water bottles walked over smiling. Don't worry. Where I come from, all the animals are friends. So he took the teardrops that were flowing down Trina's cheeks. The man also walked over to collect teardrops from Carmen and Kathy, who were crying for themselves and their own safety. They then disappeared into the maze. Claire started feeling very sad that Carmen and Kathy were going down a dark path. With her kind and sensitive and tender heart, she cried, even for her bullies. The man smiled at Claire and winked and collected her tears, and then just disappeared, smiling as he left, saying, Claire and Trina, you are good, kind-hearted young ladies. Trina looked at Claire, asking, Who were the creatures that looked like a lion, ox, and man? They looked so beautiful, like they don't even belong to this world. Claire replied, smiling, That's because they don't belong to this world, but in time all will be revealed. Meanwhile, Carmen and Kathy were inside the maze, but wanted to come out of it. Immediately as they saw nothing but darkness, dust and dried mud filled with scorpions and cockroaches, Carmen said to Kathy, "This is really weird, as if we have gone to another world, but a world that is awful and dead. I don't understand it." "Me neither," replied Kathy. "Let's get out of here." So they did. Claire and Trina saw Carmen and Kathy come out of the maze, and Trina stated, "Wasn't it so beautiful inside that maze?" But Carmen just sneered and gave a dirty look, saying, "You have got to be joking." It was filthy, smelly and dirty. Trina looked at Claire all surprised, but Claire just gave a half smile back to Trina, as if she knew what was happening. Carmen and Kathy left, not wanting to ever go back again. The day turned into night, and Claire and Trina camped out again, watching the stars brightly sparkling like diamonds in the sky. The morning star came out as usual before the sun rose. Trina said to Claire, "I wish we could be where the morning star is. It must be so beautiful up there." Claire replied, "Yes, my beloved friend, it is wonderful, and it is perfect on the morning star. All the cities are made from gold, and it can be seen all throughout the heavens, because inside is the perfect heart of gold that shines all over the universe. One day soon we will go there. I know this, my sweet friend." With that they smiled at each other, hugged each other close, and fell asleep again. The next morning they were woken up by Stefan and Mona, who started to yell at them, "Claire, Trina, wake up! You must take us tonight to the meteorite shower, because Carmen said we would be healed." But Claire gently replied, "Honey, don't be deceived. Carmen also pretended to be my friend once. She also told me, and many others, lots of lies. She wants people to believe anything she tells them, to make her look powerful. But please, sweeties, don't believe her." Stefan replied, "Well, she was really nice and brought me an Xbox." Carmen replied, "Oh, sorry." Claire replied, "Yes, she does give gifts to make people think she is a nice, generous person, but I promise she is tricking you." "Well, I want to walk again," replied Mona. Trina replied, "Of course you do, but you can if you enter the maze." But they replied, "No, we don't want to. We only want to do what Carmen suggested." Claire's eyes swelled up, tears of love and compassion. "I know you do, but we just want you to be careful of having any dealings with Carmen, because we love and care for you." But Stefan and Mona just nodded their heads and left. Down from the sky flew a beautiful angel, whose eyes were bright as if burning with fire. The angel smiled as he collected the tears of compassion from Claire and Trina's eyes. That day Claire and Trina talked all day in how to help Stephen and Maria see how they were being deceived. The night passed and no meteorite shower came to pass. The next morning Stefan and Mona came up to Claire and Trina, and Mona cried, "Claire and Trina, you was right. Carmen promised that there would be a meteorite shower, but nothing happened. There was no meteorite shower." Claire gently replied, "It's okay, honey. We all make mistakes, but we can start again." Carmen and Kathy came lurking from behind. Stephen requested, "Maybe the maze will heal us. Please let us in." Claire took the key from out of her pocket, as so did Trina. Carmen looked at Kathy, sneering. Maybe if we snatch the keys off Claire and Trina, we can go and also visit paradise. 'Cause perhaps it's the keys that make the paradise. Kathy replied. Last time we entered the maze, we did not need any keys. Carmen said, but look. As they looked in front of the maze, it appeared two big doors. But they were not there before. Carmen and Kathy snatched the keys out of Claire and Trina's hand and went to unlock the door. But as they tried, they could not open them. It was too stiff for them, and no matter how much they struggled to open the doors, they could just not. I don't understand this at all, cried Carmen. How come we cannot open the door? With that, an angel froze them for a moment and handed Claire and Carmen the keys back, smiling. She also collected the tears in bottles, the tears that Carmen and Kathy cried over themselves. The angel that unfroze Kathy and Carmen said, and as for you two, you have your own keys. She handed them over, and they stood there smiling. The angel just nodded her head and disappeared, leaving a really beautiful feathers, a white feather, a golden feather, and a rainbow-coloured feather for Stefan and Mona. Claire ran over to pick them up for Stefan and Mona, and as she did, they sparkled and twinkled out the most beautiful white, golden, pink, and rainbow-coloured lights. Carmen went over and snatched them out of Claire's hand, but once Carmen got hold of them, the feathers turned to black and crumbled up. Claire said, she did not leave those feathers for you, but for Stefan and Mona to enjoy. How could you be so heartless? Carmen replied, I don't care. I wanted them, but nobody can enjoy them now anyhow. With that, Claire gave Carmen a dirty look, because she was all for true justice and hated the fact that Carmen had been so cruel and deceitful. Stop with that dirty look, snapped Carmen. I have my own keys now, and you are waiting for us because Kathy and I want to go in before you, snapped Carmen. Kathy protested. No, we are not going back to that nasty place again. But Carmen replied, well, maybe it will be different now we have keys. So they went inside and saw nothing but darkness, dust and dryness, everything dead again. There was no light. The doors closed behind them shut tight, so they could not escape. All of a sudden a hill appeared before them, and they heard a voice like thunder shouting very loud. You have much darkness inside your heart. You're deceitful and cruel. Heart activated the keys that would open the door of darkness and destruction. That is why you see nothing but dust around you. You are looking into your heart. Suddenly they were in like a great big courtroom, and somehow Claire, Trina, Stephanie and Mona joined them. But they were happy because they had just enjoyed a wonderful picnic by the most beautiful sapphire waterfall and river that had all the precious stone of the entire universe on its bank. Yes, it was totally stunning. They were told that from their hearts, the keys activated the doors to paradise, because the divine searches the heart. In the middle of the courtroom stood a huge golden throne, filled with every precious gemstone, and from around the throne was lightning and rainbows. There was a figure sitting on the throne, but they could not make out his face because he was just surrounded by light. He ordered an angel to go grab balances, each of their seal books, and their tears collected by each of these children. He started with Mona. and then Trina. He then put their tears in the balances, as well as the sealed books. He even asked Claire, but they sadly all failed the symbols of justice. This is no use. We are all total failures, cried Trina. Wait, the judgment is not over yet, replied Claire gently and sweetly. With that, the figure made from light shouted, You have all come short, but there is hope, and ordered his angels to go grab the red heart-shaped gemstone that comes from my son's heart, and add them to the golden balances. In turn, Claire, Trina, Mona and Stefan this time all passed. The figure stated, Be glad, my son has passed the test for you, and with your faith found in the in your pure, kind-hearted tears, and in your sealed books, has activated the golden scales to your salvation. You are free. With that, they clapped and cheered. But now it was Carmen's and Kathy's turn. They too failed the scales of justice, and they were not even allowed the red heart gemstone from the figure's son, because when their books were opened, there was no faith found, but deliberate deceit, selfishness. Only selfishness was found in their tears, whereas Claire's tears were always tears of love, wanting the best for others. And the way to this figure's of light's heart is true love and compassion for others. Although Claire and Trina was not perfect, they were striving for the greater good, love, compassion and light. Surrounding the throne, suddenly the ox, man, eagle and lion were seen. The figure explained that the eagle who collected the tears was trying to charm them into crying tears of love for others. The man was always showing up to protect in times of need. And both the man and eagle were messages of truth. The ox appeared because he wanted all the lies of Carmen not to be believed, but to understand her way of doing things was not the divine's. Why, the ox was trying to let them know the true nature of the divine's decision. Then the lion appeared, and Trina was upset into thinking he would kill the ox. However, the lion was trying to show the sovereignty of my ways. All of a sudden, the figure, books, tears, thrones, balances, keys, doors, man, and the creatures all just disappeared before their eyes. Stefan and Mona, by some miracle, could walk again, and they were just jumping and leaping and dancing all around. Stefan and Mona, by some miracle, could walk again, and they were running. What happened? This has got to be just one big weird dream, moaned Carmen. Well, maybe, cried Trina. And Claire and Stefan and Mona were rejoicing, saying, This is all a wonderful miracle. Then they all went into the maze to investigate, but it was just corn all around. All of them just looked at each other. Carmen and Kathy just walked away. Trina said to Claire, The reason why, when I asked to take Mona and Stefan into the maze to help them walk again, but you told me no, wait, and I thought you said, and I thought, I must admit at the time, I thought what you said was a bit strange. However, I see the reason why you told me to wait now, And that was because if we didn't wait, we would have never known Carmen's heart would not have been revealed to Stefan and Mona. They may have been healed by the maze and not her, but she would have found another way to deceive later if they had not known her wicked heart. But Claire gently replied, "Well, true, sweetheart, but there is even hope for Carmen to change. And Kathy, too, while they are still living. And I really hope they do, because I still love them, even after the way she is," said Claire gently, because of the kind heart that she has. Mona asked, "How do we know we didn't all just drift off and have the same dream?" Claire replied, "But sweetheart, you were walking again, and so is Stephen. That's how we know the experience was real." Mona replied, "True, but maybe the angel healed us in our sleep." As soon as she said that, she put her hand into her handbag and felt something soft. "This is strange," she thought. She pulled out 3 feathers, a white one, a golden one, and a rainbow-coloured one. From that moment forward, they knew it was real. The experience they had was real, and smiled at each other. They together spread the truth to everyone, and Carmen and Kathy were powerless to ever deceive anyone ever again. As for Carmen and Kathy, do they ever change is the question. Well, only the future has the answer to that question. But one thing we can be sure of is that there is even hope for Carmen and Kathy. The end. Ephesians 2:8-9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourself, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. And here are my thoughts. When the divine tested all the children's tears and books, and not even the very nicest person, which was Claire in that instance, could reach perfection. And that is because no one that has ever lived, not one single person, has ever reached perfection. Only the divine Son, namely Jesus, is perfect. By Jesus' love we are saved, and it was his love that gave his life for us, so that we could all live. In other words, every person that's ever lived can only be saved by Jesus. But we must be willing to receive him and want and desire to be perfect like him, and Jesus can help us to do that. Amen. Hallelujah. I hope you enjoyed that, and hope you all have a good night rest. God bless you. Love you all. Bye.